Not until we are lost do we start to find ourselves. Mm. 7 years ago, I gave up my dream. Unfortunate, it was polluted with wanting to prove something to everybody on different levels, whatever that was about. But nevertheless, the purity of wanting to eradicate loneliness, knowing it can be done, I've done it. It's been done for me. Anyway, but I was too sick. Up until age 46, somehow, I was able to hide. I used to say, I'm Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. I never knew how intently clever the many beings that were in me. Wasn't even aware of this overload or any of that. It was just, my life was always too impossible. I was chronically being pulled in a multitude of directions all at the same time. Always. You don't go anywhere too far, especially what would happen. I go off in a certain direction, and then it would both boop, and then the whole world judges you, because in middle-class American capitalism, stability, I mean, really, how many times I've ever heard quoted, showing up is, how is it, success is showing up 100% of the time. Just showing up. And maybe my point is that I couldn't even maintain this amount of fame now I had. I was a big fish in a small pond. But I was national and international already. I'd already been flown to the Netherlands to do a documentary on us. And the real Dr. Patch Adams, the movie was made about, saw a documentary that was done on us, a little dinky zinkity-doo. And this man starts to mentor me, takes me to Russia with him, with other professionals. I wasn't, but holy cock-a-dip. Just had to bail. Because I couldn't cover. I was always self-employed. Always write down self-employed. Zillions of little jobs, just lose, get. But the point is, I had to be able to hide everything. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I couldn't hide. I didn't know I was. I always was living in denial that I was my mother. I really am batshit crazy. I'm not on the real world. Good or bad, I'm just very unique, for the nice term, DNA. And even my subculture is so bizarre. I just don't know too many people that grew up with ridiculously rich money, like wealth money, inheritance money. My mother just presumed it was done after her, but that's not the point. It was 3 generations in. That's what does happen. So I started with that quote. And I just know how overloaded I am. I am many. It might sound mystical or whatever. I'm in love with Bob Dylan. That's not 100%, but I'd say about a good 60% of the lyrics of Bob Dylan's song, I Am Multitudes, or I Contain Multitudes, I could have written it. But the 40% that's more symbolic or about real interpersonal stuff, like mine, is 40% cuckoo to you, anyone that's normal. I think it's astounding, but not from this religious, I'm trying to defend God or something, like God needs lawyers. But I am most astounded at people that are really atheists. They're amazing people. Most of them are very happy that I know. They just accept that I'm here and we're gonna go. They really want to get the most out of life. They want to extend that silly party or company with them. But my point is, so many of my volunteers were atheists, man. They just had a better attitude. But anyway, that's not my point. It astounds me that they don't. I live in the supernatural. I'm always interacting with other beings, seeing, hearing. I was able to hide that. And then it just got too big and there was no place to hide. And I had to run. I didn't know who I was. So I've taken 7 years from turnafrownaround.org, being its CEO, literally having a volunteer board. I think, I forget how Joe set that up, but I think we had 14. 14, I'm the scum in the psychiatric ward. That's what I am. We got so lucky. Even that wasn't real. I'm bipolar, yeah, mood disorder, up, down. No, I'm doing pretty good. Meds are working. I'm not even taking them. Oh, yeah, they're working. Because it doesn't matter. But I took them faithfully for 9 years. 9 years. I was so meds compliant. I was like a new convert or something. I was just swamped. But then they weren't working. I was still taking them, and I was lying to everybody. Because part of me wanted this to succeed. I wanted to eradicate loneliness, and I figured, well, I gotta bend a little bit. So, the deodorant is really working well. Well, I'm getting itchy armpits and rashes, but I got a $1 million contract here. I love this deodorant. It was kind of like that, except I really wanted to eradicate loneliness. The sincerity of that is why people help me. And why I'm sincere about it, I don't know. But it's just a part of me. There's so many other parts. It's disgusting. Like, oh, where are you going to run to, oh sinner man? Like, I've never been able to run from who I am. It's always controlled me. The many that doesn't matter. I contain multitudes. That is absolutely gospel truth. So the concept of not thinking there's anything more than this and gas and, well, oh, I don't know why I went off on that. It's that quote. I saw it on Pinterest. I hope I quoted it right. I can't remember it now. What was it? How'd it go? I don't know. You don't, until you're lost, you don't start to discover who you are. 7 years of doing this. This is impossible to live on earth for me because my body is so compromised now. And this world demands more money than I have. And I live the most simple lifestyle. I do. It's astounding. But I will tell you this. You are as sick as your deepest secret. I heard that in the psychiatric ward when I wasn't listening. And I heard it again when I wasn't listening. About age 38, 39, I started listening. But in reality, I never was honest. I just knew that they weren't going to let me be a CEO with a serious thought disorder. I was so used to lying. Everything I had to do was lie. Just one big, sociology chameleon. Because in America, you got to be let in. There's always cliques and clans and ladders to go up, and it's just the way it is. Lots of endless exclusions for whatever reason. I don't know. But at the same time, because I'm so many beings, it wasn't hard. But I could never contain it. I could never, because the beings would just seethe out. It would be like some kind of funny movie where, a guy knocks on the door and maybe an old 1930s, 40s with just endless amounts of, riding the rails and that kind of homelessness. It was it's a rural homelessness, different than the urban homelessness. And I've been more urban homeless. But anyway, and a lot of people did take in the stranger, or the stranger would do some things, and people, there's kind of an element of much more trust. But anyhow, but the funny part is that, there's a guy who's dressed real tall, and honey, there's a guy at the door, and he's willing to, whatever, and sure, you can come in and stay the night. And he goes up into his room, and 8 guys come out from underneath. Now he's going down to eat. He's really hot. You don't mind if I take a little back, do you? Anyway, the point is, that's who I am. I'm the Russian doll. But you just keep going. Can't function. I don't have a center. Told somebody my life is really the end result of having to be a directed, responsible, dependable, capable, contributing member of society is the fact that I am in a pinball. When I get woken up, I'm shot into this ridiculous pinball game that is so elaborate with bing bing bobbity bing bing bobbity bing bing bobbity bobbity bing bing boom 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 boom. Well, you don't get too much done. I always took longer to do everything. Everything was not present. Teachers didn't like me. They always say he's always talking in class, they talk. They put me away from people, or they put me in the front. I just get absorbed with my presences and the beings and whatever. And I'm scared. Just odd behavior my whole life. When I got older, I realized, well, I had to hide all these guys that were under my coat. I was in denial that they were there. Wow. But I am many. Opposing entities. I am my body, AVK, is the center of zillions of storm fronts that connect. Boom, boom, boom. It's a weird existence. I don't mind being fully out of the closet. I realized how lost I was, and I started to discover myself. I have. And the one thing I've sadly discovered is I can't survive on this earth. And the system isn't set up for many like me. I just had the presence to really do a 7-year self-examination. I mean, I gave up my dream. I was just coasting. I'm not kidding you. The way things work, I'm not making this up. I didn't win, I won 12 awards, big ones, some of them. $10,000 attached to one. Wow. That award, I was voted by Eli Lilly. I was in the ring for the coronavirus vaccine. The most influential person in America with a mental illness. Did you hear what I just said? It was 2010, I think, or 11. I'm around there. I didn't even know my name was submitted. There was 3,500 applicants. I didn't know any of this shit. I was just doing what I was doing. Anyway. So all my discovery has made me know I can't survive. And the world won't meet my real needs, because they become costly. I need specialized housing. I need attention, but on my terms. It's not my fault. The system's set up like a corporation. Getting me to fit in is like that expression, herding, H-E-R-D, like a shepherd herds the cattle or the sheep, they herd them. They're herdsmen. Well, getting me, which you think is just one person, to listen to you is like herding 28 feral cats in the woods. To go, come on guys, we're just going to kind of, heck, oh, come back here, little one. I've always been impossible. I've heard the word impossible so much in my whole life. Super, starting with my mother, but teachers, all the time. Impossible. And I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be my dad. He was the greatest father ever. Elizabeth raised me, oh my God. That's why I think that's where that sincerity comes from. I want to be non-judgmental, uplifting, unconditional love, because that's what my dad was until he died in my arms when I was 12. And Elizabeth, oh my God, people like me don't get that. I had a horrible mother, but it doesn't matter. People like me have just horrors. I did. I had the real McCoy. I wasn't leaving home after living alone for so many years until my dad died, and Elizabeth had no authority over me because my dad hired her to watch my insane mother and his insane son. I don't know how sick he knew. I'm sure he knew my dad had to go to the teachers' conferences. Anyway, so I'm in a dilemma. I'm at a crossroad. I'd really be glad to be euthanized. I have a lot of problems. And no one wants to go, wow, this is pretty interesting. Let's see how we can, take whatever this weirdo's experience has been, but let's see if we can, wow, get compound interest out of it and listen to him, and let's do this. Let's eradicate. Well, no one wants to do that. I don't want much. I only have $845.25 a month, and I have been squatting for 2.5 years, and depending on, just as a point is that the gun over my head regarding basic housing hasn't been there. I've just been luckier in certain ways with that. That's done. I can't live on the 845 anyway. Well, so what is the many's of us to do's? I don't know. I don't know. You don't know. We don't know. We don't know. No. He don't know what to do's. 'Cause there's way too many of Bobbies to choose. Oh, what are we gonna do? This Bobby K's got the multiple personality blues. He's got the multiple personality blues. And we's don't know what to do.